ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। नीलाम्बुजश्यामलकोमलाङ्गं सीतासमारोपितवामभागं पाणौ महासायकचारुचापं नमामि रामं रघुवंशनाथम् अतुलितबलधामं हेमशैलाभदेहं धनुजवन कृशानुं ज्ञानिनाम् अग्रगण्यं सकलगुणनिधानं वानराणाम् अधीशं रघुपतिप्रियभक्तं वातजातं नमामि। नमः श्री तुलसीदास सद्वरिष्ठाय धीमते पूरितं हृदयं येन राम प्रेमामृतेन मे। Very good. Okay. Let me chant the Satpanch today. Okay. प्रथम ही अति अनुराग भवानी रामचरित सर कहेसि बखानी पुनि नारद कर मोह अपार कहेसि बहुरी रावण अवतार प्रभु अवतार कथा पुनि गाई तब शिशु चरित कहेसि मन लाई बालचरित कही विविध विधि मन मह परम उचाह ऋषि आगवन कहेसि पुनि श्री रघुवीर विवाह बहुरी राम अभिषेक प्रसंग पुनि नृप बचन राज रस भंग पुरबासी न कर बिरह विषाद कहेसि राम लक्ष्मण संवाद विपिन गवन केवट अनुराग सुरसरि उतरि निवास प्रयाग वाल्मीक प्रभु मिलन बखान चित्रकूट जिमि बसे भगवान सचिवागवन नगर नृपमरन भरतागवन प्रेम बहुबरन करि नृप क्रिया संग पुरबासी भरत गए जहाँ प्रभु सुकरासी पुनि रघुपति बहु विधि समुझाये लई पादुका अवधपुर आये भरत रहनि सुरपति सुत करनी प्रभु अरु आत्रि भेंट पुनि बरनी कही बिराद बद जही विधि देह तजी सरभंग बरन सुती चन प्रीति पुनि प्रभु अगस्त्य सतसंग कही दंड कबन पावन ताई गीतमयी त्रिपुनि तेहि गाई पुनि प्रभु पंचवटी कृत बास भंजी सकल मुनि न की त्रास पुनि लक्ष्मण उपदेश अनूप सूपन काजिमि कीनि करूप कर दूषण बद बहुरी बखान जिमि सब मरमु दसानन जान दस कंदर मारीच बत कहि जहि विधि भई सो सब तेहि काहि पुनि माया सीता कर हरन श्री रघुबीर बिरह कछुबरन पुनि प्रभु गीत क्रिया जिमि कीनि बदि कंबद सबरि गति दीनि बहुरी बिरह बरन रघुबीर जहि विधि गए सरोवर तीरा प्रभु नारद संवाद कहीं मारुति मिलन प्रसंग पुनि सुग्रीव मिताई बालि प्राण कर भंग कपि तिलक करि प्रभु कृत शैल प्रबरशन बास बरनन वर्षा सरद अरु राम रोष कपित्रास जहि विधि कपिपति की सपथाय सीता खोज सकल दिसि धाय बिबिर प्रवेश कीन जहि बाति कपिन बहोरि मिला संपाति सुनि सब कथा सुमीर कुमार नाघत भयउ पयोधि अपार लंका कपि प्रवेश जिमि कीन पुनि सीत ही धीर जुजिमि दीन बन उजारि रावण ही प्रबोधि पुरदहि नाघेउ बहुरि पयोधि आये कपि सब जहाँ रघुराई वैदेही की कुशल सुनाई सेन समेत जथा रघुबीर उतरे जाई बारी निधि तीर मिला विभीषण जहि विधि आई सागर ने ग्रह कथा सुनाई सेतु बांधि कपि सेन जिमि उतरे सागर पार गयउ बसीटी बीरबर जहि विधि बालि कुमार निशिचर की सलराई बरनिसि विविधि प्रकार कुंभकर्ण गणनाद कर बल पौरुष संघार निशिचर निकर मरन विधिनान रघुपति रावण समर भकान रावण बद संदोदरि शोक राज विभीषण देव अशोक सीता रघुपति मिलन बहोरी सुरन कीनि अस्तुति कर जोरी पुनि पुष्पक चढ़ी कपिन समेत अवध चले प्रभु कृपा निकेत जहि विधि राम नगर निज आये बायस बिसद चरित सब गाये कहे सि बहोरी राम अभिषेक पुरबर नत नृप नीति अनेक कथा समस्त भुसुंड बकानी जो मई तुम सन कहीं भवानी सुनि सब राम कथा कगना कहत बचन मन परम उचाह गयउ मोर संदेह सुनेउ सकल रघुपति चरित भयउ राम पद नेह तव प्रसाद बायस तिलक सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय. Okay, coming back to our Uttarakand in Sriramcaritamanas, what we are seeing now here is Kakabhushandi. He is describing Bhagavan's greatness, and he is comparing each virtue to something and saying that it is not just one, that many, even if you put many, still Bhagavan's glory is more than that. So that's what we are seeing here. So we need to start after the, let me see, after the 91 Doha. Okay, so it starts with Prabhu Aghada Sata. Okay. Prabhu Aghada Sata Koti Patala Sumana Koti Sata Sari Sakarala Tirata Amita Koti Samapavan Nama Akhila Aghapuga Savan Himagiri Koti Achala Raghubira Sindhu Koti Sata Samagambira Kamadenu Sata Koti Samana सकल कामदायक भगवान सारद कोटि अमित चतुराई विधि सत कोटि सृष्टि निपुनाई विष्णु कोटि समपालन करता रुद्र कोटि सत सम संहर्ता धनद कोटि सत सम धनवान माया कोटि प्रपंच निधान भार धरन सत कोटि अहिस निरवधि निरुपम प्रभु जगदीसा निरुपमन उपमा आन राम समान राम निगम कहे जिमि कोटि शतक द्योत समरभि कहत अति लघुताल है यही भांति निज निज मति बिलास मुनीस अरिहि बखानहि प्रभु भाव गाहक अति कृपाल सप्रेम सुन सुख मानहि राम अमित गुण सागर ताहि की पावई कोई संतन सन जस किचु सुनेवु तुम ही सुनायवु सोई भाव बस्य भगवान सुख निधान करुणा भवन तजि ममता मद मान बची असदा सीता रवन. Okay, so let us see here 1 second. Okay, so Prabhu Aghada Sata Koti Patala Samana Koti, is it Samana? Yeah, Samana Koti Sata Sarisa Karala. So here in depth in Aghada, the Prabhu's depth, Bhagavan is like Aghada Sata Koti. So like a Patala. Like Patala, like billions of Patalas, that is, you can't even think of it. It is unfathomable. So Patala is the bottom one. We have the earth and we have 6 lokas above and 7 lokas below. So the bottommost loka is Patala. So what are the 7 lokas below the earth? They are Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Mahatala, Rasatala and Patala. So, and Bhagavan is even below the Patala. That means he is Aghada, he is most deep, most profound is Bhagavan. Then Samana Koti Sata Sarisa Karala. So Karala is Bhayankara, it is dreadful, like Yamraj. So crores of Yamraj. So Satakoti Patala. So it is said because there are so many Brahmandas, and in each one Brahmanda there is one Patala. I'm sorry, so I went back to the Patala. So Koti Sarisa Karala, right? So you can say Sriramchandraji's Koti Sarisa Karala. So it's more frightening than that Yama also, because see, Yama could not kill Ravana, Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, but Bhagavan was able to bring an end to them. So he is more Bhayankara than that Yama himself there. Tirata Amita Koti Samapavana Nama Akhila Pugana Savana. So Tirata Amita. So in holiness, okay, Bhagavan is like billions of places of pilgrimage. So it is said in Shastra that there are 350 million tirthas, okay, pilgrim centers, and on this earth, and we cannot say for sure how much is this, how many Brahmandas are there also. In each Brahmanda there are 350 million tirthas, and think of so many Brahmandas. So that's why you cannot even imagine the sanctity of Bhagavan. That's why in the Shastra it says Pavanaha Pavananam. Among all the sanctifying things or sanctity, Bhagavan himself is the sanctity. So you cannot compare his sanctity to anything on this earth, the pilgrims. And then he says Nama Akhila Agapuga Nasavana. So Bhagavan's name itself is so purifying, all the aga, that is all the papas, are destroyed by it. So today I would like to share with you about the glory of Ramanama. I had told you last week that I will share with you. This is one of my favorite subjects. So this, what I'm sharing, it is not my own. I listened to one of the Swamijis. He was talking about Ramanama Mahima. And here I'm telling what he said in that lecture. Okay. So in Kali Yuga, the one thing that can help you to reach Bhagavan is japa. We all know that one, right? And so in this Kali Yuga, even in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, Yagnanam japa yagnosmi. Of all the yagnas, I am the japa yagna. So japa alone is enough for us to reach Bhagavan here. So it is said, Kalu kalmashaha chittanam papadravyo jivinam vidhikriya vihinanam gatir govinda kirtanam. So what does it mean? Kalu kalmashaha chittanam. So in Kali Yuga, mind is filled with kalmasha, with dirt. What is the dirt that we have? It is nothing but rajas and tamas. Sattva is very, very less in us. Papadravyo jivana. So because of this, tamas and rajas, we spend the life with money earned wrongly. And vidhi kriya vihinana. And also, without the knowledge of what is to be done, should be avoided. So we are not very sure of the do's and don'ts of our life also, how we should live. So then what is it that will take us to Bhagavan? Gatir Govindam Kirtanam. Remembering the Lord's name alone, okay, is the solution. That alone will take us to Bhagavan. There is a Upanishad, a very small Upanishad. In that Upanishad is called Kali Santarana Upanishad. There, Narada Muni goes to Brahmaji and he asks Brahmaji, in Kali Yuga, if a man wants to get liberated, wants mukti, what is the sadhana he should do? Brahmaji very clearly says, all he has to do is let him chant this mantra, Maha Mantra. And what is that Maha Mantra? Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And then Narad Muni asked Brahmaji, okay, what are the niyamas, what are the regulations that he should follow to do the sadhana of this mantra? Brahmaji says, there are no niyamas at all. You can chant anywhere, whenever you want to, how many times you want to, it does not matter, but you chant this Maha Mantra that will take you to salvation. See, when we think of the glory of Sri Ramanama, so many saints have written about that one, and so many stories are also about that one. There is, there were some dacoits. They were wandering in the forest, and they were talking to each other in Sanskritam. It is not that, they went to school and learned Sanskritam. Sanskritam was the language of the people speaking. So they were speaking in Sanskritam. And what is it that they were speaking? They were saying, Vane charamaha, Vasucharamaha, Nadim staramaha, Nabhayam smaramaha, Itiriyanto vane kirataha, Muktim gata Rama padanu sangat. So, vane charamaha. So they were saying, we will go to the forest. Chara means, walk around, to move around. Chara, charati, okay, moving. So we will go to the forest. Vasucharamaha. So what we will do there? We will loot the people who come into the forest. Then what we will do? Nadim staramaha. So we will cross the river. Tara. Tara means to cross over the river. And nabhayam smaramaha. So once we reach the other end of the other side of the river, okay, then there is no bhaya at all. And itirayanto vane kirataha. Like this, they were talking, these kiratas in the vana. and Muktim Gata Rama Padanusangat. So just by this conversation, they reached Sri Ramchandraji's feet. Why? Because if you see these sentences, you see Rama has come 4 times. Okay. Vanecha Ramaha. It could be the word Chara, but Rama has come there. Vanecha Ramaha. Vasucha Ramaha. Rama has come again. Nadim Staramaha. Nadim Staramaha, but still the Rama has come. Nabhayam Smaramaha. Rama has come again. So, Itira Yanto Vane Kirataha. So the Kiratas were roaming around like this. Muktim Gata Rama Padanu Sangat. So they got the Bhagavan's feet because why? Association with the word Rama. They did not say, oh Rama, Bhagavan, but the association with that Rama, they even reached the moksha. So knowingly or unknowingly, you chant Bhagavan's name, okay, you are going to get the results. It is just like the fire. Whether knowingly or unknowingly you touch it, you are going to get burnt. So that is the greatness of Ramanama here. And there's another shloka in Sanskritam. It says, Murke vadati Vishnaya, Gnani vadati Vishnave, Dvayoreva samam punyam, Bhavat grahi Janardhana. Murke vadati Vishnaya. A person who is ignorant of Sanskrit grammar, he will say Vishnaya. Why? Because he had heard Om Namah Shivaya. So he changed that Shiva to Vishnu. So Vishnaya, he said. But the Gnani, the one who has the knowledge of the Sanskritam grammar, he will say Gnani vadati Vishnave. Okay, he will say Vishnave, not Vishnaya. Because in Ukaranta Pada, Vishnu becomes Vishnave. But Dvayor Reva Samam Punyam, both of them, they got the same amount of punya. Why? Bhavat grahi Janardhana. Bhagavan does not see how you say it, whether you know the grammar or not, but the bhava, that feeling, that love that you have towards Bhagavan, that's all he sees. So even the ignorant person and even a gnani, they both got the same amount of punya. And another story you have heard from me only. I must have repeated this story, I don't know how many times. Agamochanaya, right? So this farmer, he wanted a mantra. He went to this Swami and he said, chant Agamochanaya. Agamochanaya Namaha. So, he said, okay, and he repeated a few times in front of him. But as he was walking towards his house, somebody talked to him and they went, hey, how are you doing? So he forgot the mantra. So he kept saying, what is it that he said? Something a gama, gamana, something he said that, but I don't remember. Well, I will chant Gamochanaya. So he forgot Agamochanaya. So he said Gamochanaya. And Bhagavan Vishnu, he smiled. Okay. And so Mahalakshmi asked, why are you smiling? He said, Bhishma Pitamaha, he gave me 1,000 names, but now I have the 1,001 name. And he said, he's chanting us Gamochanaya. So she wanted to go and test that farmer. So she went there as a village person, village woman. And Bhagavan said, I'm not coming. I'm going to sit in this, like a depression in the ground, where nobody can see. So he wanted to sit there. He does not want to come. So she went and asked, what are you chanting? And he said, I'm chanting your husband's name, who is sitting there, who doesn't want to come here. So Lakshmi realized, even chanting Gamochana, this farmer had reached the Siddhi. So it is the bhava that is more important than just the name itself here. So here, like a, so don't ever think, this particular name is more important. Sometimes, when we start doing some japa, and somebody will come and say, no, 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 that japa is not very strong. You should change this too. So you change that, and then you, after a while, somebody will come and say, no, 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 you chant this one. So that should not be our position. When once we take the name, you should remember every name is that Bhagwan's name only. There is nothing like this is gives much, this is more powerful and this is not powerful. All the names of Bhagwan are powerful only. So don't ask which is the most powerful name of a Bhagwan here. See, for Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, it was Kali. For Mirabai, what did she say? Mero to Giridhara dusra na koi, Lord Krishna. And for Purandara Dasa, it was Vitthala, Vitthala, Vitthala. And for sure, of course, for our Tulsidas ji, it is Sriramchandra ji. So even though, different names are there, all the names are powerful. But one thing is, when you see the saints' stories and all, you see that more and more people have chanted Rama's name more than other names. Okay. Maybe it is because it's very easy to chant. We say Rama, it's so simple. For when you chant Krishna, you have to put an effort and chant it properly. Vishnu, okay, like that. Maybe that is the reason. It is not, it's my thinking. It's not written anywhere there like that. So see you know about Kabir Das ji, right? Kabir Das ji was found by a Muslim couple. So nobody knows who were Kabir Das ji's real parents. So they brought him up. So he was considered as a Muslim. At that time, the very famous, well-known Swamiji was Ramananda ji. And Kabir Das ji wanted to get initiated from Ramananda ji. But at those times, it was not easy to get the initiation from great personalities like that. And especially a Muslim going and asking for initiation, it was unheard of. So Kabir Das ji decided, okay, this is the only way I can get initiated from Swamiji. So Swamiji used to go to take a bath early in the morning to the river when it was still very dark. So Kabir Das ji slept on one of the steps on the way to the river. And Ramananda ji, as he was walking, without his knowledge, he stepped on Kabir. And as soon as he did that one, he says, Ram, 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 Ram. Like when we do something right, something wrong, we say, Ram, 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 Ram. So he said that. Kabir Das ji got up and he said, thank you. I got initiated to Ramna. And he went away. And he started telling all the people in the village, I got initiated by Swami Ramananda ji. So when he started telling all this, Ramananda ji's students did not like it. A Muslim being initiated by our guru, it is not right. It is not true. So they brought Kabir Das ji in front of Ramananda ji, and they said, this fellow, he claims that you initiated him. Ramananda ji saw Kabir and he said, he took his kadao, that wooden slipper, and he bit Kabir, and he said, when did I initiate you? Ram, 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 Ram. So Kabir Das ji smiled and he said, that day you initiated me when nobody saw. It was dark. Now you initiated me in front of your own students. Now I'm initiated twice. And he was very happy. So at that time, Swamiji says, if you have that much of a longing to get initiated, and if you consider this as the initiation itself, there is nobody who is more wants to chant the Bhagwan's name. So you are initiated. So that is, the Ramanam, the Kabir, that's how he got the Ramanam. And Kabir had a son, his name was Kamal. One time, a man comes to Kabir Dasji's house because he has committed some mistakes and he wants to ask Kabir Dasji what is the Prayashchitta to get rid of his sins. But since Kabir Das was not there, Kamal told him, all you have to do is, you take a dip 3 times in Ganga. Each time you take a dip, chant 1 time Ram. So do it 3 times, all your papas will be washed away. And he went very happily. So I will do it. Kabir Das ji came home and Kamal told him what he did. Kabir Das ji got very angry and he said, do you know, Kamal, what you have done? You have insulted Rama. So he said, what did I do? He said, you don't need to chant Rama's name 3 times. All you have to do is chant 1 time. So that way you have insulted Bhagavan, that you have to do it more times. All it's needed is just 1 time. That is the greatness of Ramanam here. See, we all know the Panchakshari mantra, right? Om Namah Shivaya. And we also know Ashtakshari mantra, Om Namo Narayanaya. So you take in Namah Shivaya, you take the Ma syllable from there, and from Ashtakshari mantra, you take Ra. Okay, so what happens? Ra and Ma, it becomes Rama. Now you took away Ma from Namah Shivaya. So if you removing Ma, when you chant it, what does it become? Na Shivaya. There is no auspiciousness. And you take Om Namo Narayanaya. You take away Ra from that. So what does it becomes? Na Yanaya. Na Ayanaya. What is Na Aya? That means, the one who doesn't have any Gati. Gati Hina. He is known as Ayanaya. That is without any refuge. But you add Ra and Ma together, you get the benefit of both the mantras. That is the greatness of Rama here. Rama, Ram. Ram is the Agni Bija. And is the Maya Bija. Combination of these two, Ra, Ma, is the one that removes the ignorance. That is Maya. After removing the ignorance, what does it do? It gives the Agni Bija. The Agni is light. So Agni shines. So in Ramanama, there is this Agni Bija that removes the ignorance and shines forth, gives you the knowledge there. One more thing, all of us know what is Vishnu Sahasranama. In Vishnu Sahasranama, Parvati ji asked Lord Shiva, right? This Vishnu Sahasranama is very good, very meaningful, very beautiful to chant and everything. But not everybody is a Pandita who knows how to chant these things. So for them, what is the best thing to do? At that time, Lord Shiva told Parvati ji, Sriramcaritamanas Rama Rama iti Rame Rame Manorame. So 3 times, Rama 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 iti. Thus you chant Ram Rama Rama. And what is this Rame Rame Manorame? It is only Lord Shiva is addressing Parvati as beautiful one. The one with a beautiful heart. There it is not Rama Rama there. Okay. It's only 3 times. Sri Rama 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 iti. That's all you have to do. That is equal to Tatulyam. So for 1000 names here. Names of Bhagavan. I read somewhere about this Rama. There is this the science of number that is called numerology, right? Okay, so you take these two letters Ra and Ma, and there is a actually the what you call sutras, but I don't remember those sutras because I don't, this Panini sutras and all that, I don't remember. But there it says, the fifth letter of the Pavarga, Papa, Papa, Ma. You take that Ma and soft consonants, that is Yara, Lava. You take the Ra, and that is the second. So Ra is 2, Ma is 5. So 2 and 5. Instead of adding it, you multiply that. 2 times 5. That becomes 10. So if you chant Rama one time, it is like chanting 10 of Bhagavan's names. So now you chant the second time, Rama. So that becomes 10 times 10. That becomes 100 names of Bhagavan. And you chant for the third time. What does it do? 100 times 10. That is 1000 times. This is according to the numerology, science of number. I thought that is very, very interesting, So the other thing is, how do we chant Rama? When we chant Rama, to say Ra, we open our mouth wide, Ra. And then Ma, we close our mouth. So one of the saints, they say, when you open the mouth, what happens is all the sins that you have committed, they just go away, go out of your mouth. And when you close your mouth, all those sins that have gone away, they cannot enter back again. That is the greatness of Rama. It is the purifier. Ramanama is the purifier. And somebody might ask, how much Ramanama one should do? You should do until it becomes your second nature. Means, whether you are in joyous mood or whether you are in a depressed mood or some ashanti is there, still that Ramanama should be going on. That's until then, you should keep chanting the Nama of Bhagavan. So when you keep doing that, okay, you will see once the mind becomes quiet, in the sense, the mind, in the last class I said it is in the Bhagavad Gita class, I said that NST, non-stop talking. Without your awareness, the mind will be thinking, talking something and all that. But when we try to control that one, okay, so when the mind becomes quiet, the first thing that happens to you is your japa, whichever the japa is, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namo Narayana, whatever it is, it just automatically comes to you. Until then, okay, you should keep chanting the Bhagavan's Nama. Look at Mahatma Gandhi. When he was shot, what is the word that came out of his mouth? He did not say, Ayo, I'm hurting, help me, nothing. He just said, Ram, Ram, Ram. Because that had become his second nature. So that much the Ramanama or any Nama, as I said, you should be chanting all the time. And we all know the greatest devotee of Sriramchandra is Hanumanji. So I will tell you a small story about Hanumanji, and then we will stop and then we'll go back to Sriramcaritamanas. Narada Muni also is a great devotee of Lord Narayana. One time he went to Bhagavan and he said, Bhagavan, there are so many devotees of yours. And as I was walking into Vaikunta, I saw so many names are inscribed on the walls. What are those? So Bhagavan said, they are the names of my bhaktas that are there. And so Narada Muni was very curious. Is my name there? Am I one of those devotees? So he went out to see, and his name was the first name. He was very happy. I'm glad, I am the devotee of Lord Narayana. He did not stop there. He kept reading all the names who are all Bhagavan's devotees. He came to the end, but he did not see Hanumanji's name. He was surprised. Instead of going back to Bhagavan and ask, how come Hanumanji's name is not there? He went to Hanumanji directly. And he told Hanumanji, Hanumanji, do you know that Lord Narayana keeps the list of all his bhaktas? He said, oh, is that so? And then he said, do you know your name is not there? So Hanumanji said, is that so? And then he started doing Ram, 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 Ram. He did not worry at all. So, but Narada Muni was curious. So he went back to Narayana and he said, Bhagavan, how come Hanumanji's name is not there? Narayana just said, I got another list and it is under my pillow. So he took out that list and he gave it to Naradji and he said, see if Hanumanji's name is there. So Naradji looked at it. There was only one name, and that was Hanumanji's name. So Naradji wanted to ask, what is the difference between all the names that is inscribed on the walls and this one name that is under your pillow? So what is it? So Bhagavan said, the names that are etched on the walls are those devotees who remember me. But this devotee, I remember. That is the greatness of Hanumanji. So that is the greatness of remembering Bhagavan. Hanumanji did not wanted any name and fame. But you know that story of, he's showing the Sriramcaritamanas in his heart also. Every cell, Kanakaname Bhagavan. So his whole body was vibrating with Ram Nam only. So here it says, Nama Akila Agapuga Nasavana. So Ramana Mahima itself is so purifying. It Agha, all the sins are Nasavana. It is destroyed by that one. That Ramanam is that powerful. It is. Himagiri Koti Achala Raghubira. Himagiri Koti Achala Raghubira. And Sindhu Koti Sata Samagambhira. In Valmiki Ramayana, Valmiki ji says about Sriramchandra ji, he says, Dhairyena himan iva samudrena gambhirye. Bhagavan is like that. So here it is said the same thing. Himagiri Koti Achala Raghubira. So in fortitude, in dhirata, Bhagavan is like Himalaya. But how many Himalayas? Koti. Here it is said million. Okay. And his sthirata is like that. And then Sindhu Koti Sata Samagambhira. And his depth, his Gambhirata is like the millions of oceans here. Kamadhenu Sata Koti Samana Sakala Kamadayaka Bhagavana. And Bhagavan is like millions of Kamadhenu. We know Kamadhenu is this wish-fulfilling cow. And one cow is enough for fulfilling the wishes of one Brahmanda. But here it says Satakoti Samana. See, in each Brahmanda, there is one Kamadhenu. But Bhagavan is like all the Kamadhenus put together. He is that powerful. So, and that way he is able to fulfill the desires of all the Brahmandas. Not just Like Kamadhenu, it can fulfill the desires of only that Brahmanda. But Bhagavan has that capacity. So, and then Sakala Kamadayaka Bhavana. Okay, that's the same thing. And then here, see, when we see this, like if you take any virtue, you take, Bhagavan has that virtue in great measure. Just to show that one, here, Kakabhushan is telling Satakoti or Koti, Samana, like that one. That's all he's saying. Because it cannot be compared to any particular thing here. Sarada Koti Amita Chaturayi, Bidisata Koti Srushti Nipunayi. So, and his Chaturayi, his intelligence is equal to crores of Sharadas, crores of Saraswati. That is his knowledge. And Bidisata Koti Srushti Nipunayi. And in the skill of creating this world, he is equal to billions of Brahmas. See, he created Brahmaji also. You remember in Bhagavatam, when Brahmaji was created, he found himself sitting on the lotus. And that lotus stalk was coming from the Nabhi of Vishnu Bhagavan. And he sat there and he looked around and he said, who am I? What am I supposed to do? He did not understand at all. So then he went down the stalk into the Nabhi of Bhagavan. And he asked Bhagavan, who am I? What am I supposed to do? So Bhagavan said, Tapa, meditate. When he did that, he realized what his duty is, creation. And the knowledge of the previous creation came to him. So then he went back and he started creating. And here Bhagavan is Vidisata Koti Srushti Nipunayi. So he has that skill of creating this world, this creation, which is equal to billions of Brahmajis. Vishnu Koti Sama Palana Karta, Rudra Koti Sata Sama Samharta. So, and in protecting Palana Karta, he is billions of Vishnus. So we say the creator, the sustainer, and the destroyer. Brahma, Vishnu. Vishnu is the sustainer. He is the Palana Karta. So he's in protecting, he is like thousands, not thousands, billions of Vishnus. Rudra Koti Sata Sama Samharta. And in Samharta, the destroyer. Okay, he is like billions of Rudras here. Dhanada Koti Sata Samadhanavana Maya Koti Prapancha Nidhana. Bhagavan is Dhanavana. He is rich. He is rich like billions of Kuberas. And Maya Koti Prapancha Nidhana. So he is capable of bringing for this material world, like myriads of Mayas. So we say Bhagavan keeping Maya under control, he creates, right? So that is what is said here. He is equal to, he is capable of bringing, many Brahmandas. Bharadharana Sata Koti Ahisa Niravadi Nirupama Prabhu Jagat Disa. So as far as bearing that load, that weight, okay, concerned, the strength of Bhagavan is like more than billions of Ahisha, that is Shesha Bhagavan. In Bhagavatam it says the whole Brahmanda, the earth, okay, is balanced on the head of the Adishesha. And so here it says, as far as so you can imagine how heavy it is, but Shesha Bhagavan is balancing that one on his head. So here it says, so bearing that load, okay, so the strength, we should take it here as the strength of Bhagavan is more than the billions of Ahishas here. Nava Niravadi Nirupama Prabhu Jagadisa. So in fact, this Bhagavan is Niravadhi. There is no end. That means he is boundless. And Nirupama, Upama is comparison. You give an example. Okay, this is like this. But Nirupama, where it is, you cannot compare at all. Incomparable. And that Jagadisha. that the Lord of the universe is that he is like that. Nirupamana upama. Again, it is said the same thing here. Nirupamana upama. Ana Rama samana Ramu nigama kahe. So nigama kahe. So the Shastra says here, Rama is like Rama only. Okay, that's all. So he is equal to hundreds and billions of, when we talk about hundreds and billions, as I said, is actually it is nothing only. Because you can never compare Nirupama, Nirupama na upama. There is no upama to compare him at all. So actually, if we compare, actually we are bringing him down only. And that's what is said in the second line. So suppose Jimmy coat is at a kadyota. Kadyota is that that what you call the fireflies. Sama Ravi kahata ati lagutala hai. Say, suppose we say the light of the sun is equal to billions of glowworms. These are the fireflies. Is that a great price? Is it a great way to say that the brilliance of a sun? Actually, it is an insult only, because where is the firefly and where is the sun? And there is no comparison at all. So when it is said here, billions of this and that and all that, you might think it is atishayokti, that is exaggeration. But really speaking, it is belittling, because we are making him small only. We are comparing with a little tiny thing here. So Bhagavan is beyond all the words, okay? But at the same time, Bhagavan accepts all the words also. So whatever you say about him, he says, okay, okay, I accept that one. Why? Because it says, Yehi bhanti nija nija mati bilasa munisa harihi bakanahi prabhu bhava gahaka ati krupala saprema sunisuka manahi. See, all the rishis, all the munis, all the devotees, the great bhaktas of Bhagavan, they describe the glories in their own words. So according to their buddhi, according to their mati, okay, according to their intelligence. But Bhagavan is so compassionate that he understands what that person wants to say. He only sees the bhava of his devotees describing it. That sentiment, he likes that. It's just like a mother. A mother understands what the baby is saying. Nobody can understand except the mother. Same way, Bhagavan also understands when all the devotees, the great saints, the rishi, munis, they are trying to describe Bhagavan. They say, okay, okay. Bhagavan says, okay, okay, I understand. So Bhagavan also says, okay, I like it because of your bhava. So that sometimes we might say we are not great scholars. You don't have to be a scholar. If you express what is in your heart, that's all Bhagavan wants. So the bhava is more important here. Okay. Saprema sunisuka manahi. And he listens to all their descriptions and feels very, very happy. See, here we say, Kakabhushan is saying nirupama. That is, he cannot be compared. And, another is aprameya. Aprameya means, he is immeasurable. You cannot measure him at all. You cannot say he is this much. That is why in Kathopanishad, it says, Sakashta sa paragatihi. That means he is the end. There is nothing beyond him. There's nothing you can say, okay, he's like this or he's like that only. Okay. So see, when Manu and Shatarupa, they did the tapas. And when Bhagavan appeared, he asked, what is the boon that you want? So they said, we want to have a son like you. What did Bhagavan say at that time? He said, Aap saris sakojai kaha jai, drupatapat tanaya hoba my eye. So you want a son like me, but where am I going to find a son like me? There's nobody like me. So I myself will be parent to you. So you cannot compare Bhagavan with anybody. So then we might ask, why are these Jnanis, trying to describe Bhagavan when they know they cannot describe? As I said, because their love is poured out in their description. And Bhagavan likes that too. So that is the reason it is done. And Ramu Amita Guna Sagara Tahaki Pavayi Koi Santana Sana Jasa Kichu Sanevu Sunevu Tumahi Sunayavu Soi. So Amita Guna Sagar. So Bhagavan is the ocean of countless virtues. Okay. And who can really understand the length and the breadth and the depth and the everything about this one? So taha means to measure. How can you measure the ocean, who is a ocean of all the virtues here? Santana sana jasa kichu sunevu tumahi sunayavu soi. So now Kakabhushan says, see, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to Sunavu, I'm going to tell you what is my experience, and also what I've heard from Santa, the great Munis, Santa Mahatmas, what is their experience and what they have said. That means Kakabhushan is going to talk about Bhagavan, or you can say that, I have told you about Bhagavan, what was my experience, and also what I have heard from other people. Bhava Basya Bhagavan, Sukha Nidhana Karuna Bhavana, Taji Mamata Madaman, Bhajiya Sada Sita Ravana. So Kakabhushan says Bhagavan only accepts your bhava, your sentiments. Sukha Nidhana. Bhagavan is that abode, he is the fountain of joy. And Karuna Bhavana, he is the abode of compassion, Karuna. Taji Mamata Madamana, giving up your this Mada and Mana, that is pride and arrogance. Bhajiya Sada Sita Ravana. Sita Ravana is Sita Ramana, the husband of Sita ji. So Bhajiya Sada, always do worship, adore Sita ji's spouse Sri Ramachandra ji. That means be devoted to Sri Ramachandra ji Bhagavan. Now, what did Garud ji say after listening to all these things that Kakabhushan said? It's very interesting. Now the story of Kakabhushan is going to come. Who he was, how he became a crow, what happened. His life story is coming up next. Kakabhushan is. Okay. So we will stop here. I got only one more minute, and then we will meet in the next Sunday session. Okay.